Hi everybody, my name is Melanie Josephine. I am the award-winning author of Love Life Simplified, and today we are talking about how to make friends. Now, I've had this video idea very late last night. Somehow it just came to me and I really feel compelled talking about it today. And so I want to share a little bit about my own story with you before I jump in and explain how you can make friends. So yesterday, last night before falling asleep, I thought a lot about myself and how far I've come from being an extremely shy girl with very few friends, very quiet at school, and to somebody who is way more outgoing, who has made friends all around the world, and who would consider themselves now as a person who's making friends just everywhere they go. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way, but I certainly feel confident in speaking to people, in being liked by people, getting along with people very easily. And I just want to share a little bit of my journey for you to realize what it takes if you are a very shy person, or if you feel like you don't have as many friends as you'd like, or maybe you move to a new place and you want to make new friends. So what can you do to change and to have the friends that you want? Yes, so this is what this video is all about. I want to share now how I did that. So back then, when I was very shy and I didn't have that many friends, I was living in this very small town in Germany, and my very first step to break the pattern was to leave my hometown, and I went to America as an au pair, and that was the first time I truly had to leave my comfort zone to make a completely different new country, new environment my home. And at the time, I received a list of other girls who were au pairs in my area, and I've decided to just ring some of them up, and I've made friends. And that was kind of the start of leaving my comfort zone and making friends, but I wouldn't say that was my breakthrough yet. So after I finished my year in the US, I decided to go on a work and holiday trip to Australia. And this is, I would say, where I've learned more and more what it takes to make friends everywhere around the world. So I met a really nice girl in Australia, and she told me that when she was traveling around in Australia and she would get a bed in a hostel with a couple of other people in the room, when she was on her own, what she would do is, as soon as she checked in, she went to the room and then she just introduced herself to everyone, or most people who were in that room. And all she said was, "Hi, my name is blah blah blah," and just start a conversation. And that's basically my first piece of advice. Not just to say, to go up to everybody and say, "Hey, my name is blah blah blah," but to keep things simple. I think very often we overthink things, and it is very often more important to do something rather than what you do being perfect, if that makes sense. Like, it's more important for you to speak to people, and maybe what you're gonna say may sound embarrassing, but that's better than you staying in your shell and not speaking to them. So first of all, I took her advice, and when I went on my very first trip on my own, which was I went to Melbourne for a couple of days on my own, and I did exactly what she said. I went to my hostel room, I introduced myself, and I immediately made a friend. And then I kind of took that advice onwards to different situations. So I got invited to a lot of house parties as I was living in Sydney, Australia, and a lot of the time I didn't know anybody, or maybe I knew one person there. And I made it a point just to speak to a lot of different people at that party, because that's really a good place to speak to a lot of new people, because it is an environment where people expect to be spoken to. It's not like in the tube or walking down the street, like if you randomly speak to somebody, they might think it's a bit awkward, but at a party, people don't mind, and they're all having a good time, and you can just go and speak to anybody. So I would very often go to these kind of parties and meet as many people as possible, and it was so much fun. And another piece of advice I want to give you, when you speak to those people at those parties, back to my piece of advice where I said it's not so important what you say first, it's more important that you say something first. And so you could just say, yeah, you could just introduce yourself, or you could just really lead with anything, like how do you know the host of the party, or how do you, like, are you from here? I mean, when I was traveling, that was obviously a very popular question to ask people where people are from, if they're living in Sydney or if they're traveling, that sort of thing. But generally speaking, very, very good tip. It's more important to make the step rather than worry about what should I say. And then this advice goes a bit more, so maybe let me share a little bit more about where I've made lots of friends. But this doesn't mean that these are the only ways to make friends. But I personally think it's always very helpful when people share their own experiences. When I watch other people's videos, that really, really helped me. So I want to share a little bit more about where I've made friends. So as I already said, I've made friends when I was traveling in Australia, in hostels, or even on like other adventure trips that I booked. I've met friends, yeah, on any of those parties that I went to. But I also met friends, for example, when I was a nanny here in the UK, and I would go to the playground with the kids, and I would just start a conversation with other nannies or other moms, or even other grandmas who were looking after their grandchildren. Or when I took the kids to their activities. I made a really good friend when I took the kids that I used to look after to their swimming lessons. I also have made a very, very good friend when I updated my pediatric first aid certificate. It was actually totally random. I only spoke to that girl in the break, but she was so nice, and I thought, okay, maybe we'll meet up sometime, and we exchanged numbers, and we actually didn't meet up for like at least 2 months. But then when we did meet up, we became very, very good friends, and I'm still friends with that girl now. So it's I'm so glad that this is how it worked out. Or I've made friends when I joined, I've made friends when I did a different certification. To be honest, when I do any sort of events or certifications, I generally try to speak, maybe not necessarily to as many people as possible, but certainly to the people around me. So let's say I used to go to a lot of free events here in London, and it wasn't actually so much to meet people, it was more to learn from these events. But I've kind of made it a point to introduce myself to the person next to me, or to both people next to me, and just started from there. It's usually very, very easy to just turn to the person next to you and say, hi, I am Melanie, and then I don't know, I usually just ask, how did you why did you decide to come here, or like ask something related to the event really, and then just start the conversation from there. But, really all I want to show you is that it's really possible to meet people really everywhere, and if you want to make more friends, make sure you put yourself in those situations more, you go out more, and you move out of your comfort zone more, and you just say hi. The other piece of advice I'd actually give you, if it's your intention to make friends, is not to think about the part where you want to become friends in the very beginning. Because when I met all these people that I've just talked about, I did not have the end game in mind. The reason I'm saying that is because if you come across as desperate or needy, or if you even say, yeah, I don't have many friends, that's why I've joined this event, or that's why I've joined this group or whatever, then it just doesn't come across as very... So when you speak to new people, don't immediately think that you're gonna be best friends. Just let it be. Maybe you will be, maybe you will not be, but it's just, if you are looking for friends, it is just nice to get out and meet people and then just take it from there. Another way I've met quite a few friends is actually through walking groups. I use the app Meetup, and obviously you can use it for whatever activity you like, but when I first moved to the UK, I joined a lot of walking groups because I really wanted to explore nature more with other people, and also I don't have the best sense of orientation, so it's better to have a guide. Anyway, it was just really good fun, and I really met a lot of friends through these walking groups. Then a few last tips at the end that I want to give you is that when you want to make friends, talk a little bit about yourself, yes, but also listen to the other person a lot, and listen intentionally, really hear what they say, and then ask them questions. Because if you can make somebody feel like you're really interested, that like they're really important, then it is more likely that they will want to be friends with you. And yeah, just be curious and interested and non-judgmental, because very, very often when we meet somebody, we may judge them by the first thing they say or the first thing they do, but this is never who they completely are as a person. So there's always more to a person than what you initially see. So just stay curious and let the other person talk, listen, and yeah, and just be very interested and share something of your own, but don't share your entire life story, and don't continue to talk in a way that they don't even get a word in. Make sure this is a balanced conversation. If not, have the other person actually talk more than you. And if you're just being yourself and being friendly and welcoming and curious and interested and excited to meet new people, then people will also want to be friends with you. They will want to ask you for your number, and you won't actually have to worry so much about always making all the first steps. But yeah, so this is basically over time how I have changed from somebody who really struggled with friendships to somebody who is very open and relaxed about friendships, and who has, yeah, I feel like I am extremely grateful for the friends that I have made over time. Very grateful. I don't want to come across, as I already said, as bragging or as, oh, I have it so easy. This is so easy for me. Why isn't it easy for you? That's not how I want to come across. I just want to show you that it is possible to go from one extreme to the other, and that all it takes is, yeah, leaving your comfort zone a little bit, making a few first steps, and being curious, being excited, and yeah, you will make more friends. And also what really helps is if you're a person who tells themselves, I'm just somebody who doesn't have many friends, or I'm just somebody who's not liked very easily, then also let me tell you that that's thinking that you really truly need to change. You need to change that. You need to start thinking, even if it's not true yet, you need to start thinking, I'm a person who's easily liked, I'm a person who easily makes friends. I'm a person who easily steps out of their comfort zone, even if it's not true yet. Because the more you think it, the more your brain will want to attract that, and the more it'll become true over time. So if you take this advice and you put this into action, please let me know. Also, if you have any other tips on how to make friends, where to make friends, like any other advice, please share it in the comments below. If you have somebody who would really benefit from this video, please share it with them. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this. Alright, lots of love to you guys. Bye!